I don't know if I should be doing this video, but okay. Okay, you're probably like, what's it like to be me? Because I made a video like what it's like to really be me. And you know what? I got another one. What's it like to be me in 2018? Okay. But I'm gonna do it under the guise. Well, I'm gonna do it kinda like a homesick thing. Your name is Bugsy No Name. You actually have your actual name, but you're not really gonna use it in YouTube because you don't want people to know your actual name. Not that you're ashamed of it, just that you rather keep your name actually secret and hidden. But you're Bugsy No Name, a YouTuber who is for lack of a better term a small YouTuber. Even though you've been here for years and you're trying to climb up YouTube the ladder, but you're still finding ways to really rethink YouTube and really try to find other ways, find other video things, but nothing's here yet. So you're basically stuck on YouTube, but you're still always thinking to yourself that YouTube isn't really that bad, and I still have a lot of memories at this old place. Sure, it may be corporate and a little corrupt, but you still love it. You're usually known as the chaotic dude, mostly because that's what you call yourself. Because you consider yourself good, but you've done your fair share of messed up things. None of which that were too bad, but yeah, you still gotta hang on to it. You hang on to it slightly. You have you have various enemies on YouTube who would love to see you squirm. You have you and your girlfriend Annie have a whole bunch of enemies who would love to see you guys squirm and who would love to mess with you. But you're mostly tough on the internet because you know people are dicks. Well, when people actually get to know you, you're a lot more nicer and a lot more calm. But you're not afraid to toss yourself into the shit when the chips are down. You care about people. You care about people far too much than you even know, and that is your biggest weakness. The fact that you care far too much. You may say you don't give a fuck, but you know that's a fucking lie. The biggest and greatest lie you have ever told yourself. You do care to an extent, but if a person is being angry or douchey, like a so-called Matt 2 or various other people, you really just say fuck them, go eat a dick, jump off a cliff, and say your usual vulgarities because you know that's you. You probably wonder to yourself, do you really like cousin, or is it just because you feel like you need to say most of the stuff you need to say? And then you realize, yeah, you really do like cussing. You love your family even though they drive you up the wall insane when you're trying to make a video. Like there are moments where you're like, oh my god, just people, please shut up. Let me work on my video in peace. I got projects at the wazoo. God dang. You're working on your projects very diligently, making sure you're not up your own ass, because one thing you do fear as a writer, you don't want to be up your own ass like Dan Slott, the guy who's working on Spider-Man for 10 years, who barely listened to his fans and treated everybody with a little bit of contempt. You, yeah, you basically, you basically, you basically did suffer the fact that your dad is no longer with you. Although you do have very vivid dreams of him talking to you in your dreams, which gives you some comfort. Not a lot, but some. You're pretty much always working on your projects, even though people automatically think you just because you do a few videos where you go and scream every now and again doesn't mean you ain't working on videos that are more thoughtful and you are basically not you're cussing slightly less. You're basically the kind of you're basically the kind of dude who will basically help out a friend when he can. Heck, even giving some good advice. Even though back in the day you weren't really great with your advice. You kind of with your advice you kind of screwed over a few people, which you do kind of regret, but at the same time you don't. You're mostly angry at most YouTubers sometimes because you wish that most people would actually at least have. You wish that most people would stop being idiots long enough for you not to make a video about them. But if you feel like if you don't say anything, you're just gonna keep getting angrier and angrier until it boils out of you. So that's why you make rant videos to spy yourself and to spray yourself on a little bit. You basically love the mock verse because you set it up in a way where it's what you would want to do if you wanted to make a creative universe that you wanted to make your own little fan universe that was a little bit more bigger than the teenage verse that you're actually truly making. And sure, some people say it's not really gonna work, but you're doing it anyway because it's still your project, not theirs. Though you still have your family members judging what you're doing, like again, you're still trying to be like, okay, like you listen to it, but you're like, guys, but inside you're like, guys, let me do my thing, you do your thing. But you're not really mad or tripping about it. You're just like, let's let me. You just like in your head, you're just like, let let me work. So you do. You pretty much love the fact that you're making stories and writing again. You haven't really done it since you were in Odyssey because you were in Odyssey and pretty much one of your assignments was always to write journals. That's when the real love of writing actually came from. Sure, your stories didn't make so much sense, but you gotten better over time. You really know how to critique a story. You don't try to show too much pride in that, but you are pretty proud of what you can critique, even though people don't think it's really great skill. You know you can do it. You get mad at the DCEU for being a grim dark mess when you actually know that yes, DC stories can be dark, but they can also have a lot of light. And it annoys your family every time you even rant about it because they actually don't get how much you critique and don't understand fourth walls and various other things. But you still critique. You do get mad at other critics for being able not to take criticism, but being pissed off that you actually how dare you criticize them and their work because they feel like they know better than you. I mean, you don't know better than them, but at least you know how to deal with criticism and treat actual people. It did take you a long time, but you actually learned. You still you still you still you still play a lot of fucking games when you're not making videos. You worry about your future less and less because you're striving for a goal. Even if people, even if everybody says like, yeah, I don't know. Eh, you can still have your moments of sadness whenever you think about your dad. But you don't let it stop you. You keep moving. Because you know, if you stop moving, you just kind of stay in one spot forever. Not really not really a fun prospect. So you still move, you still try to improve yourself every day. And even when celebrities act like idiots, you call them out on their idiocy. And then you get blocked from some of their Twitters. Because why is this dude criticizing me? You did get mad at Soulja Boy for calling all the YouTubers out. When really this motherfucker doesn't know anything about YouTubers doing what they do. And some just don't want their freaking fans or people to get ripped off. Again, no, again, an honorable prospect that you're doing. But you took it one step further. You actually showed people a good emulation machine that they can actually use. And it's a Raspberry Pi, which you found really cheap at Target. And you're like, you are thoroughly impressed at all the shit that Roblox makes, all the shit that people from Roblox actually makes, because you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. You were literally awestruck 2 days ago about the Roblox Disneyland that's called Bloxyland. It has its own little parade and everything. You're just sitting there going, yes, a a Disneyland that's like a park that you can actually go to. Like, say, when I go to Disneyland, you can just like chill. You're thoroughly impressed with Roblox, even though people may think it's for kids. You see more MMOs that really try to push the envelope of what you can really do in a Roblox and various modeling capabilities. And you're just like, wow, this is amazing. You're making Chaos Quest, Souls, and Loot, and many other secret projects that you're keeping above your chest for people that think all you ever do is make fan projects, when really you have something even bigger that you can't even say. But you are thinking about it. You are writing your little notes to make sure that everything goes perfectly. Like, the amount of what you actually have planned is kind of shocking for someone who doesn't really think about the future way too much. You basically, but as a fan brand basher, you basically stand up for the people in the fandom that can't really fight for themselves. You hate every motherfucker who says anything bad about the Sonic fandom. You hate every motherfucker that says anything bad about the Sonic fandom when you feel like they're being misrepresented, or when they're using Chris Chan as a basic, and when they're using Chris Chan as a basic, fucking stand-in. You know, you like people like Dunsville because like they call people out on their bullshit. You constantly pull all nighters because usually you're that creative and you're thinking all these different things at once, so you gotta write everything down. You love listening to high quality rips because fuck it, you love it. You know you do. You con you constantly think is if your dad was still with you, is he true? Would he be truly proud of you? And then you look and say, yeah, he would be. and he's proud of the people who actually watch it. And being Bugsy No Name, you're actually proud that you have friends. Sure, they may not be. You don't have a lot. You don't have like a big quantity of friends. But the friends you do have, you really do care about. You even care about your friend. You even care about your friend Nitwit, who's always been there for you from day one. Jackie and your friend Jackie, who you barely talk to, but you're really trying to remedy that. But your freaking schedules do not line up. So you're just like, oh man, I want to talk. I want to talk to my friend Jackie, but our schedules don't line up. Eh, you're usually, you're usually doing your own thing most of. You're usually doing your own thing most of the time. You do go. You do. You do. You do basically. You do basically. You do basically have like long debates about your cousin when it comes to your own critiquing style because you're like, because there are so many things about that I can't even, that you can't even fit in this video. But you still, but yeah, it doesn't really bother you that much because your bro, your cousin who you sometimes call bro isn't really really doesn't know how to critique like you can. It really doesn't understand it. But you don't really care. Your bro, you know, your cuz just kind of wants to understand your process, but you don't really let him in. But you are thinking of remedying that. You are a huge motherfucking fan of Homestuck. You Like, seriously, the fact that Andrew Hussey may be making a sequel to Homestuck fills you with glee, determination, and whatever else. To the point where you are kind of thinking of doing more Homestuck related things in the future. Because you do got Spurb on your computer, which is like a fan game of what the characters play in Homestuck. So, yeah. Although you would actually, but if Spurb was like it was in the actual like webcomic, you would be you would be screwed for a number of reasons. Many of which because because of your little condition, but you still think you'd do pretty well. Don't know if you'd actually reach God's here, but you're like some of the things you think about. Eh, you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen in 2019, but you have a good hope that things are going to be a little bit better. Maybe SJWs will actually stop being idiots for a change and you can actually take a few days rest. Not wondering about how idiotic they're being, but that's never going to happen. You're gonna go make your next video on Quentin and you're gonna sit there and be like, but you're really wondering how you're gonna tackle this because this man has an ego the size of East Texas. But you're really wondering what you're gonna do. But you also wonder if Matt 2 has his little buddy watching it, was he actually trying to prove? But yeah, you don't really care about Matt 2. He can be a little not have not because he has a short attention span. He's not really gonna look at this video that deeply, and you kind of think, why is he even why is he a reviewer if he can't even watch videos for 5 fucking minutes? You ponder that for a minute, then you just go, doesn't matter. But you had a lot of good moments, a lot of bad moments this year, and a lot of moments that made you go, God, the human race is fucked. Like 9 times out of 10, you're just screaming. 9 times out of 10, when you see an SGW do stupid things, you're like, God, the human race is fucked. Like whenever you see something, you're like, oh my God. Although you don't like Trump, but you're not gonna make whole videos about him because you really just see him as a non-entity. Hell, you don't even see him as a president. You see him as a motherfucking internet troll who has power. You pretty much let the people who are so you pretty much let the people who basically you pretty much let the people who are all politics heavy just do their thing, do their videos. You don't really care because either way, you're here to make them laugh, not go on your own fucking agenda and scream out re I want to and scream out re I hate Donald Trump. You normally you normally just you normally are just mostly chilling when you're not working. You're mostly on your Dreamcast, which you fucking love. You love that thing like it's your own child. And the one thing that you love most of all, which is like the same, which is in the same league as your family, is your relationship with Annie. There's been way more. There's been a lot of trials and tribulations, but you still love that girl regardless. You still love that woman regardless, and you would fight somebody to the death for her, take a bullet for her, a whole bunch of other shit, because you know that's how you get down. Also, you do wonder what it would be. Although you are scared of various SJWs when they're like trying to say sexual urges are wrong because you're like, oh my god, we're close to Shima Netta's timeline. Oh sweet Jesus, it's gonna wait until they slap the collar on you and shit. You're totally screwed, man. You're totally screwed. And after you had your little mini freak out, you pretty much go and work again. You know, you're mostly a guy who basically you're a guy who basically just like you're a guy that basically if like people are having a gigantic argument over something stupid, you're usually the one person that goes, yeah, I'm gonna stay out of this, and it really just applies to YouTube drama and various other things. You're just like, fuck it, I'm staying out of this. This is dumb. Also, you really hate it when people were talking about fucking Wolfie Chew because mostly it doesn't matter if he has a fake voice or not. You guys are just trying to find something to be angry about, which is just dumb. When you guys have more better things to do. YouTube drama for the most part has kind of died down considerably. It wasn't as big as it was in previous years. It's mostly died down to the point where you're like, oh my god, you can finally just relax. You still hate the nostalgia critic with a burning passion, a passion that cannot be quelched because you know what he did, and that shit kind of burned you a little bit. You, and in this video, you won't actually say all the things that he did, but you're really focused on the one thing, but you're not gonna say. you go, you go, you go, and you work. You work and you go. You wonder what it would be like if you soundproofed your room. Because mostly you think about that crap because everybody is loud in your house and you're just everybody's loud in the house and you're just like, let me work in peace. Because even though you said it the first time in the beginning of the video, it's still kind of a problem. A little bit. But you're not gonna complain too much. But you can sit content that you're in your room. That you're in your room that you basically call your studio when you're working. Your game arcade when you're playing. Because seriously, your Ouya has all the freaking arcade games you fucking love. So you don't even really need one of those freaking those gigantic arcade cabinets, but you are looking at them. You are looking at them. That's one thing that I. That's one thing you are doing. You're kind of looking at them, and you're kind of wondering to yourself, where would you even put one? There's not enough space in your house. There's not enough space in this house to actually put one of those little arcade cabinets in here, even in your room. And you would love to have one of those in your room, but you're glad you haven't yet because of that. You basic, yeah, basically, you basically, you basically love Nintendo and Sony, and you love Sega. Although you are kind of still wondering if Sega will ever make a console, but you're not really that angry. You're not really either angry or mad about it because at the end of the day, you're just like, meh, man, you don't really care. I mean, you care, but it's, you're not gonna just solely get hyped like you did because Project Green kind of fucking made you break your own hype. But you are really excited about the Fighter Pass since you bought it when you got it. Since you got it when you got it from you got it from GameStop. You are horrified, deeply, deeply horrified about the Sonic movie because you're really worried about how that's really gonna go for you. How you're gonna like it, but you have hope. And basically, basically, you're still doing the same thing you've always done. As the years go by, you're probably still gonna do some of the stuff you did. You're probably still gonna do the stuff you are doing. Probably, probably doing more stuff, but making your channel even more great than it is. And even in 2019, you have more plans for your channel than most people do about anything else in the world, or so you think. But yeah, that's how you've been. That's pretty much a peek into your head for most people that wanted to know what do you think, what are you doing, all the other stuff. And you love pizza, so you're just sometimes thinking about different kinds of pizza. But that's about it. Peace.